Hey, welcome to the stream. I think I got everything working this week, which is good, although it looks like my mic is a little bit hot. Let me know how it sounds in the chat. But yeah, it's good to be back. I kind of like Wednesday nights so far, so it's nice. Midweek, something to look forward to instead of being like just the boring middle of the week. And yeah, got some good stuff going on. First is, in the photography world, Tamron announced that they're announcing development of their telephoto zoom lens, a 70 to 180 millimeter lens, which I'm really excited about because that means I would have all the lenses that I need in my case, and I would have spent the same amount if I bought one single Sony lens. That's saying something. So, a little fuzzy. Is it a little better now? How's that? I turned it down a little bit, so that should be a little bit better. And then in other news, I finally finished up my quad build here, my FPV drone. And I've actually been flying it, which has been a blast. And I'm finally getting it kind of tuned and tweaked into what, more how I want it to be. Because then, of course, I want to mount this to it. And, yeah, this is the GoPro 8. This, or this, or this. The 7, the Action, and the 8 all here. But anyway, one of these will go on it. Probably the 7. Yeah, anyway. Look at this. I got this GoPro, and I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if we can do this. Can you see the crack in the screen? Dropped one time, dropped it once, and it cracked. And that's because there's no cage, which I'm okay with no cage, but anyway, I didn't even have time to put a screen protector on there. But you know what? That's what these cameras are for. I was running over really rough terrain, doing a review, and comparison between the Hero 8 and the Osmo Action, because these are definitely competing pretty head-to-head now. There's some differences, and but they are very, very much head-to-head. The thing that the Action has over the GoPro is the front-facing screen and removable front lens, which is great, although I still have never removed mine. I gotta get my not my pliers, but like the pipe wrench thing. I have these rubber pipe wrenches that'll pop that off. But anyway, I've never had the need to remove it. But if I ever did, I could. On the other hand, I was scared to death when I dropped it, realizing that that could be it. I could crack my lens and that'll be it. Fortunately, I didn't. I only cracked the screen. Still works, but I probably will send it into GoPro to get repaired. Anyway, stabilization, they're like 6 1/2 dozen. They're really, really close. GoPro might have a slight edge on this now, but it's really good. GoPro does have better audio, and I like the fact that GoPro allows you to adjust the sharpness. I would like, hey, here's some Flemmy Vlogs, welcome. I would like DJI to allow us to adjust the sharpness levels in the Osmo Action. That would make this a great camera. The Osmo Action definitely has the best, more natural-looking colors of these two. This is still oversaturated, which is kind of normal for GoPro, and it makes your skin look a little orange. It is better than the GoPro Hero 7, but still a little on the toasty side. So anyway, I know we got some people in the chat. So hey Bud, hey Harrison Family Vlogs, hey Nick Castetter. Hey Troy, if you guys are still here, say hi. And Phantom Fight 101, good to see all of you. Mr. 305 for real. You definitely need to upgrade yourself. You have a GoPro Hero 5. So I'll say, if you jump from the 5 to the 7 or the 8 or the Osmo Action, it'll be a substantial increase. Yeah, it'd be a substantial increase. I'd say if you primarily use it to film yourself, like doing this sort of thing, then the Action is a little nicer because of that front-facing screen. And it has a little bit of colors. So, but if you're filming lots of action stuff, strapping this to your body, to your head, to your bike, snow machine, FPV drone, anything like that. This is really, really fantastic. So I think Friday video is coming out. My video is coming out about like tips and tricks for using GoPro. Talk a little bit about the 8 specifically, but then I think on Monday next week I'll be releasing a video where I'm doing these two, the 8 and the Osmo Action head to head, where I ran out and shot a bunch of stuff with them just neck and neck like this, recording everything together. So, and I'll break down the differences so that if you're going to upgrade, you can make a good informed decision about which one will be best for your needs, because there's nothing like buying a camera and realizing that if you'd bought the other camera, it would have been better. So that's ultimately my goal, is to help you make better informed decisions and not waste a lot of money, because good Lord, camera gear, anything to do with like drones, cameras, production, anything is expensive, and you can spend an insane amount of money. So, hey Phantom, that's awesome. Glad to hear it. So yeah. So I started flying this, my FPV drone, which I finally got built and tweaked and set up and bound to my controller, and yeah. Anyway, this is exciting. I'm really, really excited about this. So let me be clear. I'm not into racing. I'm not really into stunt flying. I am doing this purely because I love the cinematic things you can do with an FPV drone with a action camera stuck on it, as opposed to the normal GPS stabilized drones like DJI and stuff like that. That is why I'm learning and working with one of these, is purely for that. A little bit for my production company, because I think it would add value to some of the customers I work with. But yeah, the other thing is I have the Skydio R2 coming. As soon as they start shipping, I'm in the first run. So sometime in November, I'll be getting that and running it through its paces. And I got to do a Weeble versus Ronin SC video. I got to do Aircross 2 review video. And then probably a Weeble review video, a GoPro Hero 8 review video. I don't know. I got tons of videos I got to make that I really need to get off my behind and start putting this stuff out there for you all. But anyway, but nothing. The camera gear is not anything compared to your wife's sewing machines. Hey man, you can spend money doing anything, that's for sure. And I realized when I was doing this, I was like, I could be one of those guys that's buying boats and ATVs and stuff like that. Instead, I'm investing less than they are, but I'm investing in camera gear and production gear, and yeah. So anyway, Mr. 305 for real. I want to say aerial, but I know it's not. Anyway, let's see. You want to do both action and blogging. So you have a question, does the GoPro 8, does it have accessory for selfie screen also? Yeah, so on that note, like, this is great. It's really stable. Neither one of these do amazing in low light. They both have really good stabilization. And yeah, so this has the selfie screen built in right there. That makes it nice. It's a little bit simpler. You can get a really simple USB-C to audio adapter and adapt it that way, which I like. I like the fact that you can access the USB-C and the SD card slot without having to take the battery out or without having to remove the battery slot. I don't like that about this, is that it's all basically built in, one single door, which pops off easy. And anyway, it does snap shut really well. So, but you can buy the media mod for this, and then you can buy the front-facing screen for this as well, which will be bigger than the Osmo Action screen. So that's something to consider. The problem is, to buy the media mod and the front-facing screen, you're going to spend $160 unless you get in on the GoPro refresh plan, whatever it is, like $45 a year. Then you get half off. So then you could get, for $80, you could get the media mod, which adds a shotgun microphone, and you could plug in any other microphone with like the D3 Pro or something like that. You could plug that in. It adds cold shoe mounts, which would be good for if you're going to add a light or other things. And then you could buy the front-facing screen for that as well at that point. So the problem is, you do all that and it takes away the waterproof the waterproofness. And so a big reason I've gotten action cameras is, one, I need a camera that's somewhat disposable for occasionally when I'm doing something that's a little bit more risky or small spaces where I can't fit my big camera. And two, I want a camera that I can hold while I'm walking through terrible weather to go out to a location to film something, and I can, document or film bits and pieces as I'm going. So in the review video I've been working on the comparison between these two, this has the more aggressive noise cancellation, whereas this sounds a bit more natural, and a little bit better for noise cancellation. Like, it doesn't sound like noise cancellation, probably largely because there's this third mic right in the front here. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. But one of those. But yeah, Mr. 305, for real, if you wait till probably Monday, I'll be putting that video out, and then you'll be able to decide from there, which one might be the best one for you. So my problem with this is, if you don't do the refresh program, and then if you buy this and you buy all of the mods for it, the light, the screen, and the media mod, you're going to end up spending a couple of $100 less than if you bought a Sony a6400, or it's getting really close to the price of like the a6000, a6100, which is it's kind of crazy. But again, waterproof, not waterproof. So yeah. Let's see. Troy, music is, yeah. I used to work in studios. I had a recording studio, and it's, yeah. I mean, well, you see my guitar back there. I've got a bass guitar over there. I've got keyboards sitting around here still from when I was doing music a lot more. I still do music, but not so much anyway. So, hey, Jack H, welcome. Jake, I should play you some royalty-free music. Yeah, I don't know. You want me to play any music tonight? Yeah, anyway. So, let's see. Jack, you've got some questions, if I don't mind. What color profile do I use for my Sony cameras for video? Do I use LUTs? If so, which? That's an excellent question. Hey, Nick, awesome. I'm glad to hear you have a day off. That's good. Yeah. So, Jack, back to your questions. And I'll answer your question here in a second, Nick. But, Jack, what color profile do I use on my Sony cameras? So I use a custom color profile that I made I put it on profile 1, that is based off EOS HD Pro Color 4.0. So, but then I tweaked it a bit from there. And I've been kind of trying to decide, like, if I want to release that in some way for people to have, because I've had quite a few comments about how they like the colors I get, which I don't feel like I'm doing anything special. A lot of it has to do with the time of day I shoot. I try and catch golden hour as much as I can, which is hard sometimes, a lot of times. So, but yeah, a lot of people really like the colors that I get. So, and then I do some color grading in post sometimes. Usually I just use the straight out of camera colors. And so for LUTs, what do I do? There are a couple of LUTs I use once in a while. One is it's called Canon Neutral or something like that. And it kind of tweaks the contrast a little bit, and then just it's hard to describe. It just kind of smooths out the colors a bit. Yeah, that's how I do it. I really like it. And then I've noticed too, because I use, and this is not a commercial, when Polar Pro, I like Polar Pro as a company, but when Polar Pro released their ND filter, their Peter McKinnon ND filter, which I have right here. And yes, if you watch my what's in my camera bag video, I actually got one of these finally, little Polar Pro or filter thing. So when Polar Pro released this filter here, I was very just like, no, I'm not buying it. Not because it was expensive, because good filters are expensive. It was well priced. And it's really well built. I will say, I've dropped this thing several times, and it is not on ground either, but like on rocks and on cement. It is handling it really well, and it's been in dusty environments, it's been in wet environments, and the coating they put on this is really good. So I will say they're putting out a fantastic product. And the only reason I ended up getting one was after Gerald Undone made his comparison video. I watched it and really was like, okay, there's something to it. They are doing something really, really well. I'm not surprised, but they are. I kind of felt like the initial way they marketed it was just, it felt like a lot of hype. That's, anyway, whatever. That's the way I felt. But when I got it, I've noticed the way that is, because a variable ND filter is just two circular polarizers that as they turn, they'll polarize more and more and more of the light, so it cuts down the light. But their filter adds a certain, it just adds a tiny bit of a hue to the, if you don't set your white balance with it on. Like say I set my white balance at 5600 for when I'm out in the sun, and if you crank it, you'll notice it a little more. But it adds just a tiny bit of a golden hue. But if you go all the way to the very edge, you can see the polarization effect. Like if you have anything that would reflect light, you can see. I don't know how to describe polarization effect, but you can see where it's like there's no light reflecting off of something. It just, yeah. Anyway, so. Hopefully that answered your question, Jack. Sorry, that was a really long-winded way to go around it. But are you going to get terrible weather? Yes, we are. And right now we're getting it. I was going to go fly this today, but the wind is blowing 95 miles an hour where I normally go fly. So that's a no-go there. And in here, it's like blowing 40, 50 miles an hour. So not flying today. And anyway, Nick Kessler, you want to know what brand of guitars I have? So my acoustic guitar is a Taylor. It's a 410, 420, I think it's a 420. It has a cedar top, which I love because cedar sounds really warm, and it's a good wood for up here with our weird temperature swings, and the rest of it's spruce. So yeah, and I'm running Elixir NanoWeb lights on it right now. I really, really like that guitar. I've always loved Taylor's. That one is fantastic. That one's from like the late 80s, so it's really well aged now, and it sounds great, but it has kind of a mellow tone, and so I really like the way it sounds. And then my bass is a Fender Jazz from 1979, same year I was born, that has, it's a 4-string, and then I put EMG active pickups in it, which I really, really like EMG pickups because they're very clear and it just gives you a lot of tonal variety in the pickups. So that's how I run. I don't run any pedals except for maybe a tuner mute. I love the Polytuner from TC Electronics is fantastic. That's my favorite, so that's what I usually run. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, thanks for that. I don't feel young when I'm out running around the mountains that I gotta, oh geez, man, there are some days I get home and I'm like, this used to be a lot easier, but I love it. And I hope you all like it too. I enjoy going outside. I enjoy going to these places, but my favorite thing is being able to show them off while I'm showing equipment or reviewing equipment, testing equipment, or doing a tutorial or something like that. It's fantastic. Sean, how's it going, brother? Look at this, Sean. You missed this part, but I've built and finally started flying my my FPV drone. So sooner or later, I'll start including some FPV footage in my videos. Yeah. So. Oh, thanks, bud. Same bass as the great Geddy Lee. Yeah, exactly. So, and my father-in-law, he was a producer, a recording engineer and producer in Hollywood for decades. His rap sheet, the list of talent he worked with is like the who's who of great musicians, singers, artists from 1980 on through. Yeah, it just is. And the thing is, he's also a phenomenal bass player. It's amazing. Anyway, this is about video and photography stuff, and here we are talking about music. Anyway, so yeah, I bet you are, Sean. You had a lot going on. So, and ping me on Twitter whenever they put up your talk, because I really want to see it. I watched all the live streams. I did not see your talk, so I would really like to see it. Anyway, you tried to snowboard this week, and you almost killed somebody? Oh, no, you tried to FPV drone? Yeah, it's a whole different ball game. Flying this it's like trying to balance on a basketball in a pool of water. If you're coming from like a GBS stabilized drone, a DJI drone, and then you go into this in full acro mode, if you haven't done anything on like simulators or anything like that, which I have, thankfully, but yeah, it's quite fun. I had my son out there because I have another 2 sets of goggles. So my youngest son, he really wants to fly it too. He's been practicing, but he was laughing at me so hard because it was just like, oh my gosh, but I did, like, I threaded through a few openings in trees and stuff like that. It's really fun. I really wanted to go again today. Just because I would like to go like maybe an hour every day if I can. I don't quite have enough batteries to fly for a solid hour, but as much as I can every single day, because that's how you get better faster. But yeah, the 90, 95 mile an hour winds. Well, here at my house, they're 50 something, but it's way too much wind to try and fly in, especially as a newbie or a noob. Yeah, but whole different ball game, but really fun, really, really fun. And I'm really looking forward to being able to put it to use in my videos and in videos for people that I do work for, appropriately. Some of them will be great. So if you haven't seen already too, I posted a new trailer for my channel. I don't know how you see it because it's unlisted. Anyway, there's a link in Twitter. And yeah, so you might have to like unsubscribe, refresh the page, and resubscribe. Don't do that. Just I'm sure you can find it somehow. Anyway. Oh, that's a bummer, Sean. I wanted to see your talk. So let me know if they post it or anything like that. Let me know. Yeah. So I'm hoping to make it out of the state a few times next year. I want to go to like Vid Summit or one of those type of conferences for people who do a lot of stuff on YouTube, because I do a lot of stuff on YouTube. I'd like to meet some of these people that I bounce stuff back and forth with. And then I'd like to go to like Spin Up or something like that to meet a lot of people. It would be really, really fun. So hopefully next year I'll be able to swing that and make it happen time-wise and finance-wise. So who'd have thought starting businesses, shutting down old businesses takes a lot of time. So come on down to Illinois and be bored. That's all right. Thanks for the offer. I do like it here. I've been through Illinois a few times, but yeah. I have some friends down there, actually. I have a friend who does a lot of drone work and commercial photography for stations and for TV shows in Chicago. And he was actually just up here a couple of weeks ago. But was out in those ice caves. I took him out there to show him what ice caves were like. And we flew an Inspire 2 down inside of that ice cave, which was... I'm glad it wasn't me flying it. They had the two guys from the crew there were flying it. So one of them's flying, one of them's filming. But watching, 20 grand going by ice walls and rocks, knowing that if it falls at all, that's it. It's going to be in the water and shot. And or if a rock falls out of the ceiling or anything like that, it'd be terrifying. Anyway, sure, bud. Or you can look up on Instagram. His Instagram name, the business name is Soaring Badger Productions. So, neat guy. But yeah. The only reason I met him was because I saw him. Somehow he started following me on Twitter. I followed him or on Instagram, and then I saw him start posting pictures from places I know, and I was like, "Hey, where are you? I know where that is." And so we met up, and then every time he comes up here, he's got family up here. We meet up and hang out a little bit, so it's really cool. And yeah, he even shot in one of the videos, the Rode Wireless Go video that I did. He shot all that drone work of me in the kayak was him shooting it as I left. So it was really fun. So you met Jevin Dovey at Vid Summit. Nice guy. Hopefully you can do some collab work. On the fence if you're going to go next year. Yeah, I'll let you know, man. It'd be really fun to meet up and stuff. And then Jevin and I have been talking about some stuff we might try and do together too, just because of what he does and because of my location. It'd be fun to do a collaboration with him. I really like what he's doing on his channel. So you might letting UMC next year. That would be worth the trip alone. Watching UMC, hearing UMC would be cool. Yeah, but so he's Soaring Badger Productions, and then there was a couple of other guys from other production companies that they kind of work together and stuff, but we're up there too. So it was really fun to hang out with those guys. Props to them for hiking to the ice cave because it's a hike and it's hard. But yeah, it was. You're going to see a lot of it actually in the video I'm releasing on Friday. I took this up to that area, to the ice caves, and I filmed a couple videos up there. So we filmed like tips on how to get better GoPro footage in various situations, and ways to use your GoPro that will help you get better footage. And then I filmed a comparison between the Action and the GoPro 8, which will both be coming out here in the next few days. So, but hiking up to these ice caves, because there are caves lower down, but I don't trust them as much because they're warmer and it's a little bit scary. I might go in them here in a month or so in November when everything's kind of frozen a little better. But I see you, Jack. Thanks for hanging out, man. Hope I answered your questions. But anyway, getting to them, you basically have to walk over all of the tailings that the glacier has brought down off the mountain. So it's tons of rocks, tons of big rocks, boulders, gravel, sand, all mixed. But the problem is none of it's really settled because it's all still on top of melting ice in some cases. And so you step and, huge portions will give way, and it's just, and then when you get up around that part, there's a little bit of a rock face climb to get up to the entrance of this one cave. And so it's a lot of fun, but yeah, it's not. Hey, Brian, it's not for the weak of heart or the faint of heart. That's for sure. So, but it's a lot of fun. See you, Sean. Yeah, we do actually. In fact, Sean, send me a DM on Twitter if you're on Twitter, or send me a DM on Instagram, as I have an idea for you. We can talk about it. But yeah, so send me a thought, and then we can bounce back and forth from there. So. The GoPro 8 is out. They have shipped it. This is not, I didn't get sent this, or I bought this when they announced it, and it got shipped out to me on the 15th. So they're shipping now if you buy it. I'm not sure how long their delay is, but I think it's probably pretty short. They usually do a good job of that. So, but yeah. So I bought this when they announced it, and then it shipped to me on the October 15th. So. No, GoPro doesn't have any zoom in lens. The only thing you can do with GoPro to zoom in is change the field of view. So you can go from a full wide field of view. Let's see if you can see this. Let's see. Nope, apparently you can't. But you can go from wide field of view to linear. Let's see if we can do this here. So this is linear. If you can see that, it's pretty good. My camera is picking up. And then this is wide. So if you can see that, it's a much wider field of view. So that's really the only way you can zoom in at all is changing the field of view, which you don't really lose any quality. Like it's still recording in 4K and stuff like that, but it changes the field of view. So I like linear. I like shooting in linear. It's wide enough to really capture everything around you, but it's also not, it doesn't have the barrel distortion bowing. So it's pretty nice that way. Yeah, anyway. And yeah, what else? I started testing out my Fat Shark goggles. I thought about getting the DJI FPV, digital FPV system, but I think the digital systems need another iteration or two before they're really ready for prime time. And yeah, so is turning off IS would give you more field of view? Yeah, a bit. It does. Not a lot actually, though. Comparatively speaking, I'm still getting used to the button being on the other side. So like here's 4K like that, and then if I go down and change it to 4K, I know this is not super helpful because you guys can't really see everything, but let me change this back to wide. Oops. So then there's 4K wide with image stabilization turned on. That's super helpful, isn't it? I'm showing you a tiny screen through a lens on a tiny screen. Sorry, you have to wait for the review to see everything, but it does give you a little bit more of a field of view. It's like 10% or something. So it's not a ton, but it is a bit. And it's the same thing with the Osmo Action. If you turn on the maximum image stabilization, it has to crop in a little bit to really find that good spot there. Otherwise it just it doesn't have anywhere to move the image on the sensor or to stabilize. It needs margin to stabilize any of the image. So yeah, that's what's coming. I got the tips on how to get the best GoPro footage in low light, especially, which a lot of people have asked me about. And then comparison between these two. And then shortly after that will be a video about the Weebill S, probably a comparison between the Weebill S and the Ronin SC, because a lot of people have been asking, like, what's better, the Ronin SC or the Weebill S? And if you're going to use, I'll say it this way, if you're going to use bigger, heavier lenses, and if you don't need probably the best object tracking available, I haven't tested out time-lapse yet, so I can't really say anything about that. But the Weebill S is probably going to be the one for you, even though they did just update their app and update the image transmission module and the firmware. And the object tracking now on the Weebill S as compared to the object tracking on the Weebill Lab is considerably better. Like, it's usable. But the best thing about it is you don't have to put a phone on top of your camera because it uses the image coming from the camera through the wireless transmitter to your phone to analyze. So it's a little slower than DJI's version, but it's a little easier to use. And I was really impressed by how well it worked. It totally is usable. So yeah, it's really hard, but I'm trying to go back and forth. Like, if you need to switch between certain modes a lot, your settings, DJI is still probably a little better on that. DJI still has better battery life, but it depends on how you're using it too. If you're not using the image transmission, if you're not charging your camera with in-camera charging, which Weebill S has, which I love, especially in the winter, then the Weebill S has about the same amount of battery life. And then actually, yeah, man, the Weebill S is really, really good now. It's got that you can edit a lot of the settings. You can do a lot of stuff in the firmware from the handle. You don't have to open the app at all, which is fantastic. So anyway, AVP Films. Yeah, exactly, AVP Films. It's really good. It's a strong performer, especially when going straight forward, even at longer focal ranges. It is. And I've found it even at longer focal ranges. Like, I was shooting an event recently with my A7 III and my 28 to 75, and I had it balanced at 28, so short end, right? Where is my camera? Oh, right here. So I had it balanced at the short end, like basically like this, 28. So, and then 75, it comes out to here. I shot a bunch of stuff with it zoomed out without rebalancing or recalibrating the gimbal, and yeah, this motor here got warm and the battery life definitely went down because it was having to work hard, but it didn't affect the stability. I was still able to do some really great parallax stuff and get some really stable shots, even though it was zoomed all the way out. So I'm really impressed by how much they cranked the motor strength up on this thing. It's really good. And they did tweak their algorithms to make it work better. And so once you get your settings kind of set for what you want, the Weeble S is a fantastic gimbal. Honestly, either one of them is great. It really comes down to which form factor you like better. I personally do kind of like the Weeble S form factor, the Weeble form factor better. It's a lot more fun to work with. DJI still feels a little bit more refined overall, but it's really, really great. So anyway, all right, bud, thank you so much. Have a great night, and see you in the next one. You, Mr. Unreal or For Real. Oh man, I'm never gonna get your name right. They're coming out with a Mavic Air 2. Well, so they're coming out with what everybody thinks is going to be the Mavic Mini, which is going to be a very small, very lightweight drone that probably will shoot 4K, and it'll probably have a pretty short flight time, like the Mavic Air did, or maybe even less. It'll, because it's about the same size as a Spark. It's really small. But it's foldable, it's compact, and so it'll be interesting. It's cheaper, probably around $400. So it'll be interesting to see how well that does. The Mavic Air is a really great, capable drone. So the Mavic Mini, I think the only way they could beat the Mavic Air with the Mavic Mini is what sort of obstacle avoidance it has, and then it'll probably have some sort of better active track than the Mavic Air does, and maybe some other gesture controls or something like that. So it'll be interesting to see. It's gonna be interesting because you got the Skydio R2 coming out, which is it's in a very interesting. The Skydio R2 is in a very interesting class of drones. It's like an action camera for the sky. It's not. I plan to use it for professional work. I really want to see how much this thing can do. But it is very much like throwing a GoPro in the air and the GoPro floats around you and follows you around. That's kind of what it's aimed at. It's not aimed at like professionals or semi-professional people who want to get really great drone photos and footage. And the Mavic Mini, I think, is probably, that's more aimed at, people who want to grab bits and pieces of their vacation with drones, and probably people who travel a lot, or people who want a drone but they don't really want to spend $1,000 or $1,800. So, but yeah, so they are coming out with something new in, I think next month is supposedly when they're going to announce it. So that'll be really interesting to see what they announce when they announce it. The Mavic Mini, I don't know. I'll see what they do. What it's like when they announce it. I've been debating about whether I should get one just purely to review here on the channel for you all, but I'm probably not going to, unless it has some sort of groundbreaking, amazing new features or something like that. But I'm most excited for what I do and for what I want to show other people how to do, aka people who work by themselves a lot. The Skydio is, I think, much more along that line as far as being able to capture great footage of yourself while you're working, or while you're traveling or whatever. I think the Skydio is probably the best option for that on the market, or that's coming on the market. But we'll see. It'll be interesting to see. So, yeah. But it'll be fun. And then supposedly in January, DJI is going to maybe announce the Mavic Pro 3 or the Mavic 3 Pro, and Mavic, the third iteration of the Mavic series. And so it'll be interesting because they've got to really, like, they'll have to do a lot with obstacle avoidance to either match or surpass Skydio. I don't think they'll be able to surpass, but maybe match. They're going to have to really up the image quality of the Mavic Pro camera to really get people to want to upgrade like me. I'm happy with the Mavic Pro. You put it in high quality mode and it's really, really good. Not quite on the level of like the Phantom 4 Pro was, but it's 95% of the way there, and that's good. But the fact that you have this really portable package, and it is without a doubt, the Mavic 2 series is the most stable drones I've ever seen. As far as when you put it in the air, it holds its position within an inch. Even inside of ice caves, it will take off and then just sit there like it's a tripod in the sky. It's really impressive because there's no GPS signal in there, and it's low light, so it's whatever it's gauging off of it's really fantastic. It's so stable. So, let's see. So I know there's some more people on here. You can all say hi if you want to. I don't know who's hanging out in the chat, but yeah, it's been fun. Curious to see if you. I'll put the link to the new YouTube channel trailer in the description, and I'm really curious to see what you all think of it. You can comment on the video, obviously, but it took me 6 months to make because I had to collect bits of footage from a whole bunch of different places, and so I'm pretty proud of it. I'm going to continue to tweak it and work on it bit by bit. Oh, here we go. Just because there's a few things I want to add to it. There, it's in the chat. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. I think it's a good. I liked it. I like it as a channel trailer. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a long time. All right, Nick. Yep, 7-month-old. They wait for no one. So have a good night. I'm gonna probably stream for another 5-10 minutes and then be done too. So because I gotta get going to hang out with the family and stuff like that. But it is fun, and I think Wednesday night's the night. I'll probably do this. I might wait a little later. I might do an hour later than this time, but yeah, I plan on streaming regularly on Wednesday nights. So, and as I get things up and running, I'll be adding more and more to the stream. I'd love to be able to play, show off more stuff and do more things on the stream. OBS has been, which is the program I use, has been a little finicky about, what it does. So, and let me see here. I'm also, YouTube keeps changing the way everything looks, and it's really hard. It's really hard to try and find, you find a setting and you're like, oh, there it is. And then they change it because they're, building up the new Studio Creator and the new live streaming settings and all that. And it just throws me off a lot. So, Aaron Olson, do I still do a lot of photography? I do. I do a fair amount. And in fact, I went out with a friend of mine, Keith, who flies the airplane a lot. You've seen him in quite a few of my videos, and we did a bunch of air-to-air stuff with him and somebody else, which was really fun. And then a lot of the jobs I do, most of them are video focused, but a lot of times I'll end up taking photos for something as well. And then anytime I'm out exploring, doing stuff, I'm always taking photos. I joke about, I'm taking photos for my Instagram, but I don't post most of them. I probably should try and post more of them, but I really do. I like doing photography. In fact, Aaron, this winter, I'm going to be going into a couple of the ice caves that I've been exploring. I want to go, there's a couple of spots down in there. I want to go down and do a bunch of light painting photography, because inside of the ice cave, the way ice caves are with all these little facets from the way they melt, any sort of light inside just, it reflects all through these little facets, and it's really cool and really pretty to see. So I want to play with the light painting down inside one of the ice caves. I want to do the steel wool, where you do the steel wool long exposure and it shoots sparks everywhere, because I think the orange light of the steel wool with the blue ice of the glacier will be really cool. It'd be a very punchy and very stark contrasting photo, which I really want to try. So I want to do some silhouette stuff in there, and then some kind of normal light painting type stuff in there too. So, hey, Oz Beach Andy, welcome. So yeah, I do a fair amount of photography. I probably do like 75% video as far as work goes. I do 75% video, 25% photography, but I do a lot of photography when I'm out and about. I just need to post more of it on Instagram and stuff. So, but yeah, so when I do the light painting stuff, I'll be pushing that'll be a couple of videos, tutorial videos I'm going to put here on YouTube if that's something you're interested in doing. I think it'll be fun either way, just because the location is going to be fantastic. But yeah, so, and I was working on a how to get the best GoPro photos settings video, and I have most of the stuff I need for it. I just need to sit down and edit it and put it together, and I got to do some like talking head stuff. These take kind of decent photos. It's interesting. The hard thing is that competing with the phones now, if you're going to carry around an extra camera with you, your phone, especially the new phones that come out, the Pixel 4, the iPhone 11, man, they take incredibly good photos for a handheld device. And the thing is, you always have it with you. So if you know how to frame, and if you have an eye for catching something, then you can take great photos with your phone. So, and even low light photos on phones, it's coming. So I still love my Sony A7 III. And then if I'm doing any really a lot of really intensive photo stuff, I'll go and borrow, or if I can't borrow, then I'll rent an A7R R3 or an A7R4. The R4 is a little bit overkill for anything. But if you want to be able to, when I was doing the air-to-air stuff, it was nice to have the extra space to crop. Because air-to-air stuff happens really fast. And you're basically kind of spraying and praying that you catch something good, especially when you're doing, coming at each other like this. You're doing passes that way. It's really, or even if you're just sitting on the ground and they're doing low passes, it happens really, really quick. So, but it's really fun. And I think if you look on my Instagram, you can probably, I think I've posted a few of those pictures. I'm terrible about posting on Instagram. I really need to do it more. But, yeah. I need to do it more. I'm just going to look on my Instagram and see if I posted any of those air-to-air shots. If not, I'll go back and post. I posted a lot of glacier stuff. Wow, I posted a lot of glacier stuff. No, I didn't post any of the air-to-air pictures, but I'm tagged in a few. So if you look on pictures I'm tagged in, you'll see one or two that I'm tagged in. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So most of the ones I'm tagged in, I think, were actually ground to air, but it was really fun. So let's see. Yeah, those are the things I've got coming. Those videos. And for all of you that were wondering, I do have an ND filter, or a filter wallet, finally, for myself. After doing that what's in my camera bag video, I realized I really did need one. So, yeah, Oz Beach Andy. And I think, I do less on Instagram. I do less on Facebook. I do a lot of stuff on Twitter now, because Twitter's picture quality is better than Instagram. And I didn't like it for a long time, but I do now. I like the interaction, and it feels like there's more interaction and more community on Twitter, and I like it. It's a lot more fun. So I probably have posted more stuff on Twitter, although it's a little harder to find, than on Instagram lately, just because of that. But most of it's on the same, both things. So I need to spend a little time on my website and set up a gallery or something that I could post real high quality stuff there. But it's time. Someday I will. So, hey, Brian. Yay. Yay. Set up my website. I need to set up my website. It's set up and it's good. I have some stuff there. But I need to spend a little more time on it. It just, yeah, it's hard. So, yeah, I'll speak, Andy. Say hi on Twitter. And I know all the links for all that stuff are down in the description. But let's see. You have a Feiyutech G6 Plus 3-axle gimbal. You love the gimbal. You never leave home without it. Yeah, Feiyutech put out some pretty good gimbals there. In fact, they were talking to me about using one of their gimbals, and I don't know what happened with that, because we were talking back and forth about it for. Oh, I remember what happened. Yeah. Anyway, but they do make some good products, and that's the thing. Really, anymore, it's a tool. And if you know how to use it well, then you're going to use it well, and any gimbal is going to work well for you. If you don't know how to use a gimbal well, like if you don't know how to balance and set up a gimbal, then you're going to struggle no matter what gimbal you have. Maybe the Ronin S with a lightweight thing on there would overcome and compensate for almost everything, but you still need to do the gimbal walk if you're going to get the best, smoothest footage. I would say that the Weevil S, I was shocked at how stable it was when I was working down in the ice cave, because I was holding it, not trying to be careful or smooth at all, and it really stabilizes the footage. Mr. 305 for real. Mr. 305 for real. Is that a game? I feel like I'm missing something in your name. I don't know why. Anyway. Yeah. Not that it's important or anything, but I do, lots of good gimbals out there. It all comes down to what is going to work best for you in your particular situation. So I'll do lots of comparison videos for you to decide. And I've decided that when I get to 10,000 subscribers, probably around the end of the year, I'm going to do a giveaway, and it will probably be a gimbal giveaway. Probably, I think I'm going to do the Aircross 2, the Moza Aircross 2 giveaway, which I have the whole production package that it came with, the focus motor, all that kind of stuff. So that'll be fun. But I gotta get to 10,000 first. Getting there too, which is great. So on that note, I really appreciate all of you hanging out with me tonight, or today, or this morning, or this afternoon, whatever time it is where you are. And I appreciate you all watching the videos and commenting and subscribing to this channel. It's been a lot of fun to make these videos and then see how they help you, or how much you guys enjoy them at least. And then I love interacting here on live streams too, because it's really, really fun. Hazar Cage. What if you win? That'd be awesome. Yeah. It's possible. So I got to figure out how to do it exactly, and not how to do the giveaway, but like how to, what sort of criteria I'm going to use, and how to do the selection process and all that. But I am going to do a giveaway when I hit 10,000, which hopefully will be by the end of the year. So anyway, thank you all for subscribing. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I look forward to next week. Until then, the next video you'll see from me will be on Friday. It'll be tips about how to use and get the best image out of a GoPro or action camera in general, but kind of pointed toward GoPro, because that's a lot of them out there. And then, be another one probably Monday after that. So thanks again. I will see you all in the next video. Cheers.